Hello, coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Australian numismatics to uncover four of the most expensive and ultra-rare coins that collectors are eager to get their hands on. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this video is packed with valuable insights. So, let's get started. Section 1. A quick history of the Australian 50-cent coin. The Australian 50-cent coin has been a staple of the currency system since 1966, originally minted in silver during its first year. However, due to the rising cost of silver, it was quickly redesigned in 1969 using a copper-nickel alloy and introduced with its now famous dodecagonal shape, that's 12 sides for those of you counting. By 1996, the Royal Australian Mint had already struck several commemorative 50-cent coins, but the standard 1996 issue carried the classic Australian coat of arms on the reverse, designed by Stuart Devlin. On the obverse, as always, was Queen Elizabeth II, by then a familiar sight. In terms of mintage, the 1996 50-cent isn't particularly rare until you look closer. That's when things start getting very interesting. Section 2. The rare 1996 50-cent error coin. Among the many coins produced in 1996, a small number were struck with major minting errors. The kind that make coin collectors' hearts race. And these are not just any errors. We're talking about 1. Double strikes. Coins struck twice in the press, leaving a visible shadowed or offset image. These can increase the value tenfold, sometimes more. 2. Offset strikes. Coins that were not aligned properly during striking. Some are struck so far offset that parts of the design are missing entirely. These are extremely collectible. 3. Clipped planches. This is when a portion of the coin is physically missing, having been clipped before it was struck. For 1996 50-cent coins, these clipped errors can fetch $500 to $5,000 plus, depending on size and condition. 4. Wrong planchet errors. Here's where the magic really happens. A few examples of the 1996 50-cent coin have reportedly been struck on the wrong metal blank, such as a 20-cent planchet. These coins are lighter, smaller, and extremely rare. A genuine 1996 50-cent coin struck on a wrong planchet in uncirculated condition has been known to sell for $10,000 to $50,000 Australian dollars, and some experts believe the right coin, found in pristine mint state with a known provenance, could hit values as high as $100,000 or more at auction. Section 3. What to look for in your change. Now, how can you tell if your 1996 50-cent is one of these high-value rarities? Here's your treasure hunting checklist. Weigh it. A normal 1996 50-cent should weigh 15.55 grams. If it's significantly lighter, you could be looking at a wrong planchet coin. Inspect the edges. Look for odd clipping, misalignment, or irregular edges. Look closely at the strike. If the coin design appears doubled, blurred, or misaligned, you may have a double strike or offset strike. Check for missing parts. Coins with missing edges or curved clips are also highly desirable. And remember, if you think you found something special, don't clean it. That can reduce its value. Instead, have it graded and authenticated by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Section 4. Real auction results and collector demand. Let's talk real numbers. Here are some actual sale prices of 1996 50-cent error coins. A clipped planchet 1996 50-cent sold for $1,200 Australian dollars in a private sale. An offset strike example in VF condition sold for $3,800 Australian dollars at auction. A wrong planchet 50-cent, confirmed to be struck on a 20-cent blank, reportedly sold for over $18,000 Australian dollars, and that was years ago. Since then, the collector market has only grown. Experts say that if one of these rare coins appears in MS66 or better grade, its auction price could soar to $100,000 or more, especially if it's the only known example. Section 5. Why these errors are so valuable. So what makes these coins worth so much money? It's simple. Scarcity. There may only be a handful, or just one, of these errors in existence. demand, coin collectors and error specialists are always hunting unique pieces. Historical value. These coins are real-time snapshots of minting mistakes, frozen in time. Condition. Higher grade coins with less wear are worth exponentially more. Part 1. Background and history, 110. Let's rewind the clock to 1966. Australia switched from pounds, shillings, and pence to the decimal system, giving birth to coins like the 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, and the now famous 20-cent coin. Designed by Stuart Devlin, the Australian 20-cent coin features the graceful platypus swimming in motion. This design quickly became iconic and has been used for decades. But something unusual happened in 1968, a year that produced a few very special coins. In 1968, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra minted around 11 million 20-cent coins. While that might sound like a lot, here's the twist: some of these coins were never released into circulation. Instead, they were specially struck as specimen coins, presentation coins, or even test strikes for collectors or for internal use at the mint. These select coins were made with superior quality, polished dies, mirror-like surfaces, and sharper details, and they are now worth a fortune. Part 2. The rare variants and error types, 305. Now let's talk about the coins that serious collectors are hunting for, the rare errors and high-grade specimens from 1968. Here are the most valuable types of 1968 20-cent coins. 1. Specimen and proof-like coins. These are coins struck with special care and mirror-like finishes. They were not meant for circulation and were often used in coin sets or kept by the mint. If you own one of these in top condition, especially graded by NGC or PCGS, its value could range from $5,000 to over 25,000 Australian dollars depending on quality. 2. Double-struck coins. Sometimes, the press strikes the coin twice due to a mechanical glitch. These are called double-strike errors, and they are extremely rare for 1968. One verified example sold for 12,000 Australian dollars in a private auction. 3. Off-center strikes. If a coin isn't perfectly aligned when struck, it results in an off-center image. The more off-center, while still showing the date, the higher the value. A 1968 20-cent coin with a major off-center error can sell for $2,000 to 10,000 Australian dollars. 4. Clipped planchets. This happens when the blank metal disc, planchette, is improperly cut, leaving a chunk missing. Collectors love this type of mint error, and 1968 clipped planchette 20-cent coins in uncirculated condition have sold for $1,500 to 7,000 Australian dollars. 5. Die cracks and cuds. Errors caused by damaged dies, like die cracks, cuds, or die breaks, create strange raised lines or blobs on the coin. While not as visually striking, 1968 coins with large die breaks have been valued between $800 to 3,000 Australian dollars, depending on size and placement. Part 3. High-grade coins, 550. Let's not forget, condition matters. Even if your coin isn't a rare error, if it's in mint state, MS65 or higher, or has been professionally graded by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC, the value skyrockets. One uncirculated 1968 20-cent coin, not even an error, sold for 1,200 Australian dollars just because it was nearly flawless. Another graded PCGS MS67 sold for 2,800 Australian dollars at auction due to its pristine condition. So if you find a shiny 1968 20-cent coin with no visible wear, it might be worth hundreds or thousands, even without an error. Part 4. Market demand and collector craze, 720. Why are these coins going for such high prices? 2 reasons: scarcity and collector demand. The number of surviving high-grade or error coins from 1968 is incredibly low. Most were used in circulation, banged up, scratched, and lost over the years. That means collectors are fiercely competing for the few that remain. And with coin collecting on the rise, especially rare decimal coins from Australia, prices are climbing. Some collectors have even paid 5-figure prices to complete a decimal error set. That's right. $10,000, $20,000, even over 50,000 Australian dollars for a single coin in top condition or with the right error. Part 5. How to check your coin. 840. You might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these valuable coins? Here's what to look for. First, check the date, 1968. Inspect the coin for mint luster. Is it shiny and uncirculated? Use a magnifying glass to check for errors, double strikes, off-center, clipped edges, or raised lines. Compare to other 20-cent coins. Does the design look sharper or more detailed? If it looks unusual or untouched, don't clean it. Cleaning can reduce the value. Instead, take it to a professional coin dealer or submit it for grading to NGC or PCGS. History: the background of the 1999 10-cent coin. The Australian 10-cent coin has been in circulation since 1966, featuring the iconic superb lyrebird on the reverse and Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. By 1999, millions of these coins were minted as part of regular circulation. Most were common, but a few slipped through with major minting errors that transformed them into collector gold. That year, the Royal Australian Mint produced standard 10-cent coins, but incredibly, a small number were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, that is, the wrong metal disc. These rare coins were minted on a 5-cent blank, making them lighter and smaller than usual. And that little mistake? It turned ordinary coins into super rare treasures. Rare error, wrong planchet coin. This is where things get exciting. The 1999 10-cent struck on a 5-cent planchet is one of the rarest modern Australian coins ever discovered. It weighs only 2.8 grams instead of the standard 5.65 grams. It's smaller in diameter than a regular 10-cent. Only a handful of confirmed examples exist. Because of its scarcity and high collector demand, this error coin can fetch between $15,000 to 30,000 Australian dollars, and some experts believe that pristine, high-grade versions could command well over 100,000 Australian dollars at future auctions as demand increases. How to check yours? Want to know if you've got one? Here's what to look for. Use a precise scale. If your 1999 10-cent weighs under 3 grams, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Check the edges and diameter. If it looks smaller than normal, take it seriously. If you find one, get it authenticated immediately by PCGS or NGC. Closing, call to action. So, next time you're sorting through your loose change, pay close attention to those 1999 10-cent coins. One lucky find could be worth tens, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you loved this video and want more incredible coin stories that could change your life, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a treasure hunting tip from Old World Coins PK. Keep your eyes on your coins, because you never know when you'll strike silver or gold. History, where it all started. Let's set the stage. Australia made the switch to decimal currency in 1966, introducing the 5-cent coin as part of this new system. The coin featured the beloved echidna on the reverse, one of Australia's most iconic and curious animals, and Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. By 1970, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra was well into mass production of decimal coins, and millions of 5-cent pieces were churned out for general circulation. But among those everyday coins, a few incredibly rare and mysterious versions slipped through the cracks, minting errors that would go unnoticed for years until collectors started finding them. The 1975-cent coin isn't rare in its standard form. About 78.2 million were minted, but what makes this coin so desirable are the extreme minting errors. These aren't your average dings or scratches. We're talking wrong planchets, double obverse strikes, off-cent errors, and even mule errors, which are extremely scarce in Australian coinage. Some of these errors are one of a kind, making them priceless to collectors. The rare errors, what makes it valuable? Now let's talk about the real stars of the show, the rare error versions of the 1975-cent coin that fetched the big money. Double obverse, 2 heads, error. One of the rarest and most fascinating errors ever seen on a 5-cent coin. Instead of the standard echidna on one side, the coin has Queen Elizabeth II's head on both sides. Only a few known specimens have been verified, and when they appear at auctions, the bidding war is intense. Value? These coins can easily sell for $10,000 to $25,000 Australian dollars, and even more if professionally graded. Offset strike. A coin that wasn't struck directly in the center of the planchette. If the coin is 10% to 50% offset but still shows clear details, it can be worth $500 to $5,000, depending on grade and clarity. Wrong planchette error. This occurs when a 5-cent die is struck on the wrong coin blank, like a blank intended for a 2-cent or 10-cent coin. These freak errors are rare and can be worth anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000. Clipped planchette. A portion of the coin is missing because of an error during the blank cutting process. Depending on how dramatic the clip is, the coin could sell for $200 to $1,500. Mule errors. A mule occurs when dies from two different coins are accidentally paired. Though extremely rare on 5-cent coins, if a mule error was found with a mismatched obverse or reverse, the price could go sky high. $20,000 plus is not out of the question. Grading matters. Why condition is everything. If you've got a 1975-cent coin and you think it might be rare, the first thing you need to do is check its condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and the closer it is to mint condition, the more it's worth. A mint state, MS65 or higher, version of a rare error can fetch 2 to 5 times more than the same coin in circulated condition. Pro tip: get your coin graded by a professional third-party service like PCGS or NGC. Not only does this confirm its authenticity, but it also makes it easier to sell at top dollar prices. Recent sales, real-world value. Here's where things get really exciting. A verified double obverse 1975-cent coin sold for over $20,000 Australian dollars at auction. A high-grade off-cent strike brought in $4,300, and even a clipped planchette in average condition sold for around $800. In today's collector market, rare errors on common coins are gold mines, especially for passionate numismatists and investors alike. And as more people discover coin collecting, the demand is skyrocketing while supply remains fixed. What should you look for? If you want to check your own 5-cent coins at home, here's what to do. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe. Look closely at both sides. Do you see anything odd? Is the coin perfectly round, or is it clipped? Are the queen's profile or echidna blurry, doubled, or off-cent? Does one side look like it's missing or doesn't match the other? If something looks strange, don't dismiss it, it might be rare. Take clear, high-resolution photos and consult a professional grader or coin dealer. Closing, call to action. So there you have it, coin lovers. The humble 1970 Australian 5-cent coin might just be your ticket to thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars. Whether it's a bizarre double obverse, a misstrike, or a dramatic off-cent error, these coins are the stuff of collector dreams. Don't wait another minute, go check your collection, your coin jar, or that old wallet you haven't touched in years. Who knows? You might be holding a $25,000 rarity and not even know it.